Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 12, Week 2. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. Joining you for another cast tonight. A interesting battle between two teams I don't have a lot of information about. One of the things I've been seeking out to do here at the start of this season is get teams on these casts that normally have not been cast. Toaster Strudels is absolutely one of their teams, one of those teams coming in Season 11, only having one cast throughout Season 11 at the very start of the season. And hopefully that won't be the case for them this season, as they do kick off Season 12 to a pretty good start. Looking at their past few matches so far in the season, they've won against Illusionist and Salty Homies. So 2 W's under their belt, 1 more to go to get some MMR and determine where they will lie in the ladder. Excommunicado, meanwhile, a new team to Season 12, but not necessarily new. Zero Cool and a few of the other players on this team coming from Operation 1. Actually, I think everybody coming from Operation 1, except for your boy Yosh coming from Screaming Weasels. VRML, who is here on the roster, also Operation 1. So a bit of a rebrand, but also you do see with these new teams also still adding in new players from other squads. And so Excommunicado coming in here, Season 12, hoping to have a good start themselves. Looking at their matchups so far, they also, well, they have not had as strong a start. After facing off against After Hours, they have lost one, still a few more games to determine their MMR, but certainly an interesting matchup here that we should catch today. Curious to see again what Toaster Strudels are bringing to the plate, and I kind of have an idea that it's going to be a nice, tasty strudel that's coming to the plate. Anywho, we can take a look at the pick bands coming in from Toaster Strudel's side. We have an Abandoned Band. Coming in from Excommunicados, we have the Snow Peak. 2 DPI maps off the table, leaves us with a custom map pool, wide open, and several others, essentially all close quarters maps, majority at least, close quarters maps that are available. And we are going to be kicking things off in close quarters. Map number 1, if you haven't heard already with the sirens in the background, is going to be Subway. And without further ado, it looks like everybody is readied up on both sides. Coming in from Toaster Strudels, we have Dude Man, Lup V2, Faded Headhunter, Darelap. Coming in from Excommunicado, we have Zero Cool, Operator Yuri, Stranger Man, Wicked Toxic, and VR Immersions. Kicking it off with a North Stairwell objective. Let's see sort of offensive rollout these teams opt for. Headhunter even getting down into this lane is dangerous because utility like that can do some damage. Fortunate enough that nade doesn't go far. And that no one else has really pushed here. It does look like they're going to opt out of a heavy north push, which is the most effective, but also the most commonly defended. They're going to instead opt for and of stairs and likely, yeah, all 4 stairwells. Faded, Lup, Dude Man, and Darelap in the basement. They'll be able to come up from these basement stairs one apiece. Also while pushing down from those back stairs from the horseshoe. So if they can't sync this up, they will be able to, in one clean swoop, so to speak, pop up and scan this entire subway space. And so it is going to come down to, will this defense be tucked in time? Immersion's pathing around here definitely could cost them their life, as Faded is going to be getting an angle into this space soon enough. They are watching, of course, entry from the basement from the other stairwell. But again, I think it's going to be that is going to be a duo here. Distractions on the north stairwell, while the Quattro push here comes through up through the center. Keep our eyes split, of course, on that north aggression. And here as well. VR Immersions still hasn't turned here, as Darelap is able to get past. There's the shots that connect. Two big pickups. One tries to cross past Zero, another popping up out of the stairs. Zero catches another. Down on the stairs, Dude Man suddenly the last alive on Toaster Strudels as Excommunicado cut off this offensive push. And I do like the setup to temp, but again, I thought I think a more conservative approach would have been to have all four come in from all separate stairs so that you really do get a better idea of where everyone is. You may have cut out VR Merchants there. It would have maybe allowed you to attack Zero Cool with a bit more coordinated. He was able to sort of pick off both of those stairwell pushers one at a time. And oftentimes you also see Zero Cool's lane getting smoked. A lot of different ways to try and deal with this defense, but Dude Man, as the last attacker, is going to try and put something together here. Zero Cool's angle, of course, is the most dangerous. And I think the most effective way past this is a full sprint, but Dude Man is going to slowly work their way here right into Zero Cool's line of sight.
Let's go.
And a very good start for Excommunicado. Coming in to the map pick of Toaster Strudels. It's a great start on defense. Definitely locks them in and puts them in a confident space. Let me close here. Like I was saying, a great start for Excommunicado, and oh, I think we just had a sub there on the side of Toaster Strudels. Yeah, Darelap was in. They're now out, and JJ's Quest comes in. I don't know if they were filling in for that position or what, but interesting to see a sub after the first round. You know, not a terrible idea strategically wise if you think about it. You know, you have a tough round one, not finding any kills, then you can bring in again that fresh player. Can kind of pump you up and motivate your team, but on to defense we go for our next round. Toaster Strudels, that is. Excommunicado going to go on the attack, and I wonder if we'll see a bit more of a heavy northern presence here. One thing I did notice about the defense from Excommunicado is they invested 3 in the north side. I think teams often do that when they also like to attack from the north, so I would expect to see Excommunicado set up for a north attack. Just by looking at their defense, it would be a surprise to me if they did have a heavy south push. But there are plenty of options on how you... Well, there's really 2 options on how you approach this. You come in from the north or the south. Once you get into the south, though, there's plenty of options on how you get there. Either way, that minute and a half between rounds getting utilized. Hatching out strategy and trying to discuss, again, what the best lines of sight are to take. Are they going to go for that north push? Are they going to invest in the utility? What kind of utility is it going to be? How is this defensive setup from Toaster Strudels going to look? Do they invest in a heavy north presence? Round number 2 underway now. Enough speculation there. We'll pop over to Excommunicado. And I will be surprised. A south push coming through from Excommunicado. 2 are committing to the north, but it really just seems like they're going to set up and prevent any over-aggression from the likes of Toaster Strudels. Faded has set up here, but no utilities come down. They're not committing too far to pushing down this lane. So it is going to be a direct south attempt here from Excommunicado. It's at least a 3-2 pinch. They are definitely going to try and sync up, I think, on their entry, and we'll see what kind of coordination we do get out of this squad. I mean, again, a reminder, they had coming off a tough loss in week 1. Whereas Toaster Strudels are undefeated so far in the regular season with 2 wins under the belt. 1 more to go and they get their matchmaking rating. They get placed into the ladder. Excommunicado still have 2 more to go, so they definitely need to put some wins into that belt. They do not want to have 2 losses out of potentially 3. They can get 1 win. Either way, Excommunicado looking very synced up, at least in what I believe their plan of approach is going to be. It's all, of course, a matter of execution. The setup so far looks good, though. Meanwhile, the defensive setup, definitely very meta. Headhunter and Dude Man covering the final lane of approach that you have to cross if you do want to enter into the objective. And while these positions are powerful, they do have the weakness that they are easily smoked. One well-placed smoke can deny vision from a Headhunter. One well-placed smoke can deny vision from Dude Man. And a cross can come through in between those smokes. It's a play I've seen executed, but very rarely, oddly enough. Most teams just try and contest these corners. And that smoke, not bad, but not close enough to Dude Man to shut down vision up through the middle here. But I think this is the timing on the play. Toxic comes flying in. Headhunter looking for that angle. Shots come through. They connect. Shuts down that cross. VR Immersion's up next, and they have to use that information from Headhunter. And oh no! Fire over the head of Immersions results in a TK. The south approach is hurting, but Immersions does make up for it a little bit. Catches 1. Got to pop over to the north entry. They're going to run into action soon enough as well. Before detonation, Faded comes around for the confirm. And that is 1 and done. They drop back down to the stairs. Well, they'll have a nice head peek right down onto Stranger's position if they decide to hold it. And they're actually going to go for the full fallback. Tuck in, and with 2 minutes left, time is ticking away here. VR Immersions with this cross is definitely taking some risks. Loop has an angle. Dude Man also has one here if they decide to take it out of the door. Off rotation, Faded nearly goes down. Immersion doesn't connect, though, and leaves us with Stranger Man, 1, 2, 3, all left on their lonesome. A pair of defensive rounds looking very good here from both Excommunicado and Toaster Strudels. Has me scratching my head already on how this series is going to unfold. Very well could be trading Volk rounds. That seems to be the setup here. That smoke, pretty well placed. More smokes getting tossed down to the bottom. And so there's a good 30 seconds of smoke wall here that is completely shutting down vision. No suppressive fires coming through just yet. There's some nades. Just a flash. And now as the fire comes through, a hail of bullets coming in through the smoke. Nothing connecting either way. Danger Man continues to push forward. Eventually they'll come out the other side and be identified. JJ's quest subbing in contributes to snagging the round, and Toaster Strudels tie this up 1 apiece. Taking a look at chat, trying to read through here, seeing interesting discussions going on. A shout out to everyone that is dropping by. See some first-time chatters there. Nove Talks, appreciate you dropping in. If you aren't familiar with the format, Toaster Strudels as home team ban the first map. There is a predetermined map pool that consists of, I think, oh gosh, I don't know what the total map pool count is. 7 to 10 maps. The home team gets to ban 1 map. The away team gets to ban another map. And so that's what you see here, Abandoned and Snow Peak taken off of that available map pool. And the home team then gets to choose what map they start on. And so Toaster Strudels have chosen to play on Subway. From there, the away team gets to choose what side they start on. And so they have chosen to, Excommunicado have chosen to start on Volk. And the general idea of the game is it is a search and destroy 5 versus 5 military simulator. And so the Volk team, or orange team, is defending an objective. The Marsoc team, or the blue team, is attacking. And the objective is for the Marsoc team to either eliminate the Volk team, which will get them 1 point, or get close enough to the objective to punch in a 7-digit code on their tablet that they have on their back. That will get them 2 points. And so the general meta of VRML at a competitive level is the attacking team tries to whittle away the defense so that there are gaps in the defense so they can work up to the objective to capture it and get 2 points. You want to secure 2 points over 1. Of course, this presents inherent risks. If you do not find those kills and you do still continue to go for that push, you can sometimes die when you're going for the cap because you're trying to cap instead of shoot. And so there's a lot of on-the-fly decision-making that has to be made. If you lose a player or you lose 2, what kind of picks are you looking for? But at the end of the day, everybody is trying to capture the objective or kill the other team. As defense, you're simply trying to eliminate the other team and prevent them from capturing the objective. Round timers are 6.5 minutes. It is the best of 7, best of 7, first to 4, and then we play 3 maps, which consist of rounds, and then that creates 3 maps as a series. I got it all in just in time for us to pop into the comms of Toaster Strudels.
An eye on the flame.
It's covered.
Yeah,
If you trade, however, we might rotate because you've already put a hole in their defense. Remember, we gotta take this one a little bit slower.
Also, we'll never know if they trade.
1880191.
There you can hear some of that strategy discussion going on, talking about how it can shift what their approach will look like depending on the outcome of certain pushes. And Toaster Strudel is fortunate that Excommunicado have gone with a bit more of a passive defense. Sometimes you'll see full-on firefights and nades, C4s, everything going off on this corner. Instead, it is a much more reserved defensive setup. Danger Man sitting here. We do want to pop over to Zero Cool, holding the other side. Dude Man and JJ is pushed up very quickly. And Zero Cool's position is a standard one, so they should be ready for it. kill there in the tunnel. Zero Cool finds one. Dude Man keying into that position. Peeks out just at the right time. Oh no, a flash comes up and over. Dude Man still doesn't spot Zero in the dark of the corner. Side shut down. Toaster Strudels left with 2 to attack Faded and Headhunter, who's working up from the basement. Up over to Headhunter, working their way up the stairs on the opposite side. They will run into Zero Cool's line of sight soon enough. Zero Cool, I think, has already detonated C4 that was placed deep here. But it's just going to come down to a gun battle, and we are going to have to keep our attention split. Faded has Tablet out. I wonder what their plans are. At least memorizing the code, but there's still plenty of lines of sight on that corner that he has to cross to get close enough to objective to punch in the code, so still a ways to go there. But a lot of time, 3:40 left on the clock to work with. I think this is a smoke. Attempted nade into the corner. The swing there, cutting down, and Zero Cool catching out. Headhunter on the other side. Excommunicado's put up a solid defensive round. And this very much could be the way of the series. Trading defensive rounds back and forth, and Excommunicado with a nice 2-1 lead off of that defensive round. Definitely have an opportunity here. Push this up 3-1. They can snag a Marsoc round, obviously, but so far those attacks haven't looked too good. Excommunicado has had the setup look good on their approaches, but of course it then comes down to the execution of that approach, and I saw the defense of Toaster Strudels do well to prevent that attack from working. And so depending on where the enemy team spawns, it definitely can dictate how they attack the objective. For example, if it is that south spawn, we may see some early firefighting. But I don't know quite yet. It's too early to judge how this series will unfold. We're only 3 rounds in. We're only into map 1. The rest of our maps are pretty close quarters. We got stuff like Quarantine and Shipyard, which do have their rangy moments. But we also have stuff like Cargo and USS Quest, which are very close quarters maps. And I think that we're just going to be up for a close quarters series here based off of that map pool and those bans. Seemingly focus on getting rid of some of those ranged moments. Both Abandon and Snow Peak definitely have their range. Also, they're close quarters, but I don't know. I've been enjoying Abandon actually quite a bit. Watching that map enter into the pool in Season 12 has been pretty cool so far. I mean, at least I've only had one cast on it, but cast it during the charity tournament, during the off-season, and it is a very fun map. Into the action we go, though, for round number 4.
Kind of where JJ is in that little, that little white room almost. You know where that kind of hard to explain.
To the right.
JJ,
Two of us, then that's suicide. But
no. He's over there.
This?
You're right here. You're right here. In that room, yeah.
C4 place, defense set up, headhunter in an advanced position, waiting to catch out a rotation through the alleyway.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna branch up to the left.
But it looks like the timing of Excommunicado
Yeah. Especially the casters.
will be something else. I heard casters. I don't know what kind of shenanigans they're talking about in the corner. Either way, again, patient setup from this Excommunicado's team. The setup looks good. How will the execution work, though? Headhunter, very far forward. VR immersions, unlikely to be checking for a defender this far in the corner. And that C4 placement, definitely not where I would anticipated. And wow, now Headhunter has dropped off. They are periodically checking, so immersions could run into a bad time here. And I wonder if they are going to send one down. I don't think they will, considering they have the underground approach, although Wicked Hex indicates to Stranger Man to take it. So they may be able to pinch onto one. We've already seen a team kill come through, and so I gotta wonder, too, if there's a chance that Operator Yuri could end up firing on their teammates. Either way, we gotta keep all of our attention split. I like the setup attempt again from Excommunicado. I see what they're going for. It's very beginners-esque approach from all angles simultaneously strategy. This takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of practice, though, and a lot of understanding of strategy, knowing when to push, where, at what time, based off of where your teammates are. And it comes down to it comes down to execution. Like I said, so as we do wait for Excommunicado to get into place, that is what we're looking for here. Still a lot of ways to go through this defense. Both Faded and JJ's Quest holding up this alleyway, and I imagine there might even be a C4 on the wall somewhere here. .230 now, and it seems like Excommunicado is just kicking this time down. Seems like they are just trying to wait until late into the round to push. And again, it just reminds me of the tried and true beginner strategy. Very much looking to likely go for a cap attempt in the chaos. They'll definitely have it. Oh no, and actually Toaster Strudels lose one to a disconnect. So this key on point extension of defense there no longer present. And you have to play through the round. Disconnects happen in online events, and hopefully no team kills coming through here. A battle, though, on the approach. JJ goes down. Meanwhile, on the north side, suppressive fire coming through. Those C4s detonate, and the play on defense from Toaster Strudels picks apart the attack. However, the one gap in coverage is getting pushed through. VR Immersion finds one in the smoke. Club able to push down and shut down VR Immersion. Stranger Man still here on the assault, and the trade leaves Toaster Strudels with Faded alive in the corner. Continuing to trade Volk rounds as we are tied up to a piece here. A good hold from Toaster Strudels, especially after losing that key defender. And that's just good quality defense right there. Patience all the way down to the last few seconds. C4 placements, finding kills. Picking off that aggressive entry in from the up through the catwalk. I mean, just a really good job of holding there and weathering that attack. But on the same side, Excommunicado, I love to see that plan approach. You know, I love to see that offensive assault from all angles timed up, and it nearly works. It's just, again, so hard to execute effectively, and beginners make it sometimes look so easy. So nice attempt from Excommunicado, but we are still tied 2-2. No Marsoc rounds locked in yet. We now go to a different objective. We switch positions of that objective, and Excommunicado goes back on defense. And I take a hydration break. Exciting series to tune into so far, though, and both of these squads playing well for the camera today. At least the defenses are. I'd love to see a good Marsoc push work out here for one of these squads. I guess it nearly did there for Excommunicado, but they were in a 5v4. Either way, this next objective definitely can get crazy early, so we'll see where that lands us. I do see a bunch of new follows coming in over the course of the start of the stream. Kirno Stream, Novatox, Lord Lom 25, and Excommunicado #1 fan, all following the channel. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button and joining the VRML train. If you're unfamiliar, this is the VRML main channel. We stream all kinds of Onward VRML regular season action right here. And then on the weekends, we have what are called venues, broadcasts, or showcases. And we have streams go on twitch.tv/VR Master League. It is our sort of central hub for VR esports, where we also have Echo Arena games played, and it's when the Echo Arena season is going. And those matches also then get shown to the venues audience, which is a app you can download on the Quest and Quest 2. You can watch the games in a big movie theater with other people and really get to cheer on your favorite team and enjoy the experience with other people cheering. It's really a cool app. I highly recommend you check it out.
Don't take maintenance.
But that's on the weekends, so be sure to check that out. 6 p.m. PST Saturday, 12 Sunday. And obviously we got regular season action also here. And look at this. The aggressive defense, dude man trades, but shuts down the push. I love to see the commitment there from Excommunicado, trying to dive out and shut down the quick spawn. And now information gained for the Excommunicado defense. But no real adjustments seemingly down to this alleyway. Uh-oh. Botched flash luckily doesn't end in too much damage. That nade gets tucked into the corner, and JJ's able to get down. Oh, the confirm onto VR immersions through the smoke. Meanwhile, a battle up through the alleyway. Stranger shuts down one. There's a good flash from his teammate. blinding Stranger Man in the alleyway. Yuri doing more harm than good here. Stranger's still alive and able to hold, but either way, the push doesn't come through, so maybe it pays off. Toxic trying to push through the smoke goes down. Stranger flies out to find another. A trade leaves Excommunicado with 3 and Faded alone. And in the chaos, a res comes through. Excommunicado still have 4 alive. Gonna be a tough entryway for Faded here. It is interesting. Play here from Faded. I feel like they feel comfortable here. They know they're not gonna. Well, they're anticipating being able to react to a push this lane and continually watching their back for a flank. The flank, obviously, we know is not coming, but the concern's still there. Now that Faded has risked peeking all this way out and not seeing Stranger, it may give them a false sense of confidence. Oh, but a nice flash does get 1. Trouble, of course, is they have to push out through the gate to get to the objective. And if they don't get to the objective in time, Excommunicado get a point. So defense wins if they either kill the team or survive the full round timer. So Faded is going to have to push eventually and try and get up to this objective. And that is what Excommunicado is banking on. Really relying on the accurate kill count to be out in sort of a risky spot that Toxic is. And as I say that, they drop back to a more orthodox position, and the cross is set up. I see some comments coming in chat. Just for, again, those that maybe aren't aware, we're on a 6-minute delay. So if you see my face, say something to me. I don't read it until now. But I'll answer your questions right after this round. And look at that beautiful setup there. Love to see the cross hatching going on. Really going to be tough for Fader to work in. And as I say that, Toxic drops off the angle. Zero's here. Utility comes in, smoke onto the gate. This could pull out a rotation from Yuri, which is the goal here of Faded. That's a great flash, though. Faded is caught. I don't think Yuri's going to risk pushing in. Faded with a blind reload, and they now can see. Actually got Tablet out, and yeah, they were thinking cap. 30 seconds left. Yuri finds a gap in the smoke and gets the kill. Excommunicado tossing up the defensive round and tying it, or taking the lead again. But of course, the best offense and defense for Subway changes drastically on the objective. I think in the case of this objective here, a good, solid, aggressive defense can pay off. I think one thing we saw with Toaster Strudel's, Excommunicado's case, is that they nearly had actually 2 for 1 on the initial trade at the start of the round. That aggressive push out through the smoke did get them a kill, and it almost got them a double. That would have really kicked off that round even better for Excommunicado, but the 1-for-1 trade isn't so bad in this situation because, again, of the objective's placement. There is a limited number of entries, only 3. that you can actually come through to get to this objective. So if you are cut down to 4 or even 3 defenders, you can still hold the objective. If you're, of course, on the offense and you do manage to get an advantage, you do manage to get that there's only 3 defenders left, there's all kinds of opportunities for utility play, flashbangs, smokes. We saw a lot of defensive flashes come in into these alleyways, but because of these alleyways, there just is a lot of good banking opportunities and flash opportunities. And so I personally think if you can somehow get up through the south stairwell, if you can get control of the south stairwell, you are in one of the better positions to attack this objective. You're able to throw utility right up into a very common defensive setup position right here in this courtyard, but we'll see what the attack looks like. Excommunicado getting the opposite, that other spawn. It puts them in the basement to start things off. And they do not run into that initial action right out the gate. Instead, they really have to go for the long rotation. So Faded drops down and sets at C4. We'll keep our eyes on that. In the meanwhile, the underground approach is making their way up, and Dude Man is pushed out very far, committed to an aggressive setup. And this is, again, so this is another way you can be aggressive on this defense. Definitely going to be the first one to run into this Excommunicado offense. Oh, and as the peek comes in, Dude Man does not connect with the shots. And now his position is given away to Wicked Toxic. What I'm curious about is what is the plan for Immersions in Stranger Man as they drop down the stairs and now return back up. I think they're going to wait for Toxic to make their way, and Toxic, actually hearing his own teammates' footsteps, gets thrown off. Dude Man feeling confident after the confirm, peeks out a touch. That nade detonated perfectly, catches them out, and now the entry set up for. Hero Cool about to run into the C4 placement on the roof. You hear the disappointment in their voice. Faded, quick to confirm. It leaves us with only these 3 making their entry down a lane, often covered with C4 placements on the walls, although I don't see any here. Really gotta look for it sometimes. It blends into the sign. That doesn't seem to be the case. Headhunter is instead playing that point defender. One strat you can actually do is place a C4. I think you can. I could be wrong. Have your point man be in control of that C4 placement, though. I mean, Headhunter could, I know they could throw that C4 down this alleyway. I think it might connect and latch onto that sign if they go for that toss, but they could get a C4 around. I just don't know if it would go far enough to then detonate onto a Stranger Man or Yuri. That certainly could be an option. Either way, both Stranger Man and Yuri well aware of Headhunter. Headhunter aware of those two in that corner, just not exactly sure where. And then meanwhile, Immersions has swung around to the other side. And they're about to run into several defenders here. JJ's Quest actually getting identified. Look, detonates a C4. And we've seen really good C4 placement from Toaster Strudels so far. That's why I was looking for one here in this lane. They've really done well with those C4 tosses, and Hunter is going to stay very tucked, allowing this offense to get comfortable. When is the pop-out coming? Oh, Stranger Man actually swings to get the kill. And now there's a lot of smokes on objective, a thick coverage that's going to force a rotation in. Stranger Man's tablet out. Those kills come through just barely. Yuri is tablet out, and they find the cap. The first round of the Marsoc round of the day comes through from Excommunicado. A great attack there, and just perfectly punching through the weak point of that Toaster Strudel's defense. The C4 placement on that alleyway would have done huge, just as we saw the other C4s, but cannot seem to string it together. And map number 2 already determined. Headed to Cargo, as Excommunicado want to take things even closer. Really get the action flying here for round 2. They're definitely riding a momentum wave here. Both of these names tough to spell. Toaster Strudels does not spell how you think it does. Maybe it does. Strudels. Cargo again, though, is where we're headed, and that's a much close quarter. I mean, even more close quarters than what we were just seeing on Subway. And there used to be a rule in place up until this season where you were limited on how early you could throw utility and nades. That has since been removed, and there is still some early nade measures in place in game, but those are the only ones that are there. And so what we have been seeing is a lot of very fast flash grenades coming out from both defense and offense on both Cargo and USS Quest, very close quarters maps. And so I'm curious to see if we do see a heavy flash presence here to kind of kick off maybe even a defensive push. It would be a great way to throw off Excommunicado from the Toaster Strudel side. But still, Cargo, very different than what we saw on Subway. There's more setup time on Subway, and Excommunicado have shown that they can use that setup time well. I'm wondering if they will also still be able to set up their attacks as well as they did on Subway on a much closer map like Cargo. It was their pick, and if you do dig into the stats, you don't have there's not a ton to go off, especially for Excommunicado as they're a new team to season 12. Even a full season of stats is not necessarily an indicator of how the team will perform, especially because a lot of these squads play a lot during the offseason. A lot of scrimmages, a lot of practice, a lot of preparation, so that when they come into season 12, which is where we're at, they will be able to boost up in that ladder, able to outperform teams that are of equal skill or of equal rank to them, because they put in that extra effort. And I'm definitely seeing the indicators of extra effort from Excommunicado. They only have one game. They haven't taken challenges, but their coordination is definitely there. And maybe that was honed in over the course of Season 11, and they've just sort of ridden their energy from playing on Operation 1 together over Season 11. But who knows? Toaster Strudels very well could take this map from the likes of Excommunicado. Again, let's see if we see any of that early tool utility usage. The nade comes in, almost catches out 0. Wicked able to get rid of 1, 2 actually. Stranger Man finds another, and Toaster Strudels down to 3 very fast. A lot of smokes placed on the objective, and another great toss onto Dude Man. So many smokes placed here. And here comes the cap. More smokes coming through. That's a nade, no, a flash out on the Stranger Man. They're blinded, unable to cap through that flash, but Wicked Toxic catching a kill through the smoke, and Strangers punching in the code. Excommunicado are looking for back-to-back caps. Wow. What a fantastic rollout for them. Really a great play on Cargo there. Executed just how you need to. The smokes placed onto that, on essentially every defensive lane that you need to cover to prevent the cross. They got the smokes into that east side, the far east side barrels. They got several smokes and an M203 and control of the west. And from there, they just continued to, I think everybody had a smoke on them. There was at least 2 apiece for everyone and an M203 launcher. I saw, I think, 6 to 8 smokes placed there. 2 more got tossed out at the time of capping. I mean, a great play. Really nicely coordinated, and Toaster Strudels are in danger. Momentum definitely running away from them now. They did a great job of battling back and staying even keel on Subway on their defensive rounds until that cap, and now it's definitely hard to be down 2-0. Series on the line if you lose this map. We obviously, for those that don't know, we do play out the 3rd map regardless of the outcome here. The rounds 1 in all 3 maps matters in determining how much they go up and down in the ranked ladder. And so even if theoretically Toaster Strudels loses both of these maps, they will still want to try and win that 3rd one to minimize the damage done to their rank, to minimize how much they will go down in rank. If they can win a map, that will obviously help and prevent them from going down as much. If they lose all 3, they go down the most they can. And so, well, depending on how many rounds won and all that. But the final scoreline of rounds 1 is definitely important. And so you can't give up at any point during a series. And Toaster Strudels right now really need to rally. And I wonder if they're going to go for a cap of their own. This objective is very vulnerable to that exact play. It's hard to defend against. And if Toaster Strudels can execute it, they could very well go for a cap here as well under a heavy smoke. But I don't know if that's going to be the intention. Obviously, you can hear the code being read by everybody on team, so it very much is on their mind. But here's the play. Flashes in, Headhunter catches one, and they are already very close to objective. Look, find Stranger. The push on objective is here. Zero doesn't get caught. Emergence goes down. Lup is nearly there. Zero shuts down what could have been a cap attempt. They need to deny Zero cool vision here with a good smoke play. That's a good flash. Shuts down Dude Man, and I think also a Headhunter. Both of them being flashed, but it is a 3v2 attempt. There's a big pickup. Yuri's still blind from the smokes. Dude Man finds the confirm. Tablet comes out on objective. Yuri's there. No tuck in around cover, and Faded tries to pick up the final kill to at least get one on the board. Yuri now aware of Faded's presence. We are into a 1v1. Yuri taking up a standard defensive position that does prevent the cross to objective from all lines. Faded has to go in front of Yuri's position here. Question is, can they stay quiet enough to slow peek the crouched angle and catch some kneecaps? Or do they go for the quick peek? They do! Faded! A huge round for Toaster Strudels. And they almost went for that cap play. They actually had several attackers almost set up in position for the cap play there on that objective. I love to see that aggression come in from them. Not afraid to back down. Even after a tough couple of rounds lost. Favorite offensive plan on Cargo? I do think it's the one we just saw there from Excommunicado and tried to execute there from Toaster Strudels. One that I saw maybe in Season 5, Season 6 from the likes of SMC Tactical and executed by the Sickness DB. It took a while even from there for teams to start to try and replicate it. And even SMC did not replicate that attempted play very often. once it's done and once the team knows you can do it, there are certain things you can do to try and anticipate that kind of push. You can place C4s in certain places that are on the other side of smokes or in where a planned smoke will be. In the case that you lose vision, you can detonate it. There's certain ways that you can set up. Counter aggression being a big one that works well. But different ways that you can defend against that kind of play. But I do love seeing it. I love seeing the smoke, the crack, and the push through that line, up through the middle, through the smokes, into the objective. It works great for that objective spawn in particular.
Okay, the second one. Luck, don't worry about it. Go to the spot over there. JJ, I want you either with me or where you were last time on Volt, watching the red. Let's get another one, guys. We aren't done yet.
I'm gonna go same place last time.
I like the motivation coming in. An early peek here. Catches out Yuri, unexpecting, faded. Tucks into a dark corner. This is going to take some utility use. Oh, and after those shots, Toxic definitely, should have been aware, but able to find the confirm. Faded's going to push forward. Stranger's there to shut that down.
I'm down.
And actually, a trade on the corner there. Stranger can be rezzed.
Got one. It's clear for now.
JJ gets picked up, and that res definitely risky, and lucky they don't connect there from JJ's quest. And meanwhile, trying to suppress this push from VR Immersions. And Excommunicado coordinating well to split the attention here. Yuri catches one out. Dude Man tries to scoop up one through the crack, and they do. More utility comes in, a trade up through the center between Zero and Hunter, and we're into a 1v2. Toaster Strudels left with Loop v2. And they've taken up the proper spot. Be inside that crate, definitely a good place to defend, but obviously vulnerable to both sides. Here they have a bit more coverage. Smokes are there, and I don't think there's going to be any more, and so it's going to come down to how well Immersions and Yuri can sync up. And this is a very risky setup. Loop is going to allow Yuri to cross. Now Yuri can do a lot. Yuri can actually swing around here and avoid Loop's vision entirely. Looks like they're going to go up through the crate. That is, of course, a position Loop can check. And they do. As that suppression comes through, Immersions is going to push up, and Luke seemingly ready for it, but the trade comes in. That's the round. Excommunicado only take one, so map not locked in just yet, but a comfortable lead for them as they get a Marsoc round again and go up 3-1. Big pickups there from Excommunicado, and even an opportunity to lock in the series. There was a route there that could have been taken that would have completely avoided the final defender and been able to cap on the other side of the crate. So very fortunate that Toaster Strudels, they are gifted another opportunity to keep this thing close. But with this objective, I do feel like it is one of the harder ones to win on Marsoc. With where this one is positioned, you don't have to get aggressive at all on defense. You can play very reserved and passive and force the offense to come into your lines of sight. Smoke placements go a long way, and you know, countering that style of defense, but even then, this objective is just tough to properly smoke out every potential early angle that can get taken up, and so yeah, I'm thinking Toaster Strudels have to kind of come into this one just looking for the kills. Seeing also some communication in chats. Getting this answered 6 minutes late, Scott, but if the enemy team gets close enough to objective, they can pull a tablet out of their back and they can punch in a 7-digit code that will get them 2 points. And so that's what happened there for Excommunicado to start off this round. They won that round, but they won it by getting a cap, so they got 2 points. And so, yeah, you see it there in chat too, but they're now in a comfortable lead. And so that's, you know, that the reason you see every team go for caps is because it puts you instantly, you know, halfway to your goal line. 2 caps gets you a win. So there is a lot of value in securing a capturing the objective like that, and it's very challenging to do. As we saw, it takes a lot of coordination, a good play. Both 2 good plays so far from Excommunicado, and I'm not counting Toaster Strudels out of the cap field just yet.
They're coming behind us.
Definitely ways to get through the enemy defense here, as we almost saw Excommunicado do,
That's why
but
we don't let them cross the finish line.
we shall see as we do dive into round number 5 of map number 2. Ooh, and look at this. VR Immersion's getting aggressive on defense, flying through here with their offensive smokes. And Loop does ID it and catches it out, not going down. That's a big early pickup. Puts them in a nice 5v4. And I really am curious what the play looks like. It's a heavy setup onto this side, the east side here. Headhunter making their way up through the center, hunting for the head of Stranger Man. Oh, Toxic's head nearly gets hunted, but doesn't. Zero, meanwhile, able to suppress and shut down Dude Man trying to push through. Stranger Man finds Headhunter trying to swing up through the center, and here comes the utility to shut down any other aggression. Zero, cool. Oh, thought they were going to have a kill on JJ's quest, but JJ's actually tucked inside. Big pickup from Faded. We're into a 2v3. Faded and JJ's quest. Not in bad positions right now at the smoke placement. They do have opportunity to rotate, but once those smokes dissipate, right now, things get a little bit tougher, especially with where Wicked Tox is taken up.
I'm rotating now.
Oh, and as they're pillaging, they get punished. It's a 2v2. Toaster Strudel's not out of this series just yet. I think that smoke is exactly where they want it. And after JJ has got that confirm, they're not going to be anticipating Stranger to be in that corner as well. So Stranger finds that pickup, and now it is a 1v2 for Faded. And the only real way to win this is to actually have some sort of utility to disrupt Stranger Man to get you the ability to kill them without trading. Faded, if they try to push Stranger Man, will trade without any utility, and so that'll leave Yuri alive, Excommunicado win. I don't know if Faded does have a smoke. And so if that smoke needs to be placed on Stranger Man's line. And it can be. Operator Yuri. Ooh, actually, my catch faded out on this line. Shots do connect, and Yuri finds the kill. Stranger Man doesn't even come into play. Excommunicado lock in map 2, 4-1. They also lock in the series, but like I said, we play that third map. Rounds 1 matters, and so Toaster Strudels are going to want to go into this map, pick a map that they are really comfortable on, and try and come out the gate swinging. Look for a cap opportunity. I don't know what the right map choice is going to be to get them that setup. Maybe something like Sand, where you can capitalize on the chaos. I don't know. Maybe they have to go to range, somewhere like Quarantine, or Shipyard even. But the close quarters definitely doesn't pay off, and we'll see where we head. For map 3, we do get a look at the KDs. Positives from Excommunicado, 5 and 4 from Zero, 5 and 2 from Stranger, 4 and 3 from VR Immersions, and that one cap coming in for Stranger Man to put their team up 4-1. Really a solid map too. And, you know, despite the scoreline, a good performance from Toaster Strudels. They definitely came into this series battling it out hard on Subway, losing 3 to a cap when it was 3-2. Definitely hurts. And now to start Cargo and be capped on also definitely hurts. Map number 3, as you can see, is going to be Quarantine. So like I threw out there, maybe a little bit of range was going to be the ticket here to Toaster Strudels. Strudels. But Quarantine is one of my favorites. A super fun map to spectate, all the no matter what the skill level. A map that has a lot of range, but also lends itself to very close to moments of close quarters battles. And it is one of the most diverse maps you can pick into. It is the map with the most objectives. So, you know, you only play a certain amount of rounds on a certain amount of objectives per map. There is, I think, 13 potential objective spawn points. And so you really don't know where the objective's going to be at any given point. I mean, that's how the game is at all times. But with Quarantine in particular, there's just so much variety in terms of where you could be attacking from, what the angle of approach could be, and, you know, despite the map's size, it just has a lot of interesting cover points and routes to take. So excited to see this one get played out here with these two teams, especially how they've been playing already. I think it'll be interesting to watch Excommunicado. I'm wondering if they will stick with that style of trying to surround an objective with by spreading. It definitely works on a bigger map like this, but again, it's hard to coordinate. And I want to see if Toaster Strudels can do a little bit with the range. Maybe we'll see a couple of stellar shots from the likes of Headhunter. You know, maybe they'll stay true to the name and hunt some heads at range. Who knows? Either way, both squads in lobby, ready to go. So we should be popping in to map number 3 shortly. But while we do have a break, a shout out to everyone that has been dropping by. Scott DPT 12, Grenade Magnet, Excommunicado's #1 fan, Pack 32216, Sausage VR. Really do appreciate you all stopping in and hanging out, chatting it up in chat, watching the stream here with me today. It has been a good one, so I don't blame you for tuning in and sticking around for map number 3 to see how this shakes up. And it looks like we are going to kick off round 1 with a very long spawn here. It's going to be a while before Toaster Strudels
Let's go.
Dude, you
run
wanna
into
hop in
the
a party
action.
and play some Blade after this?
Obviously, dog.
Dude, it's so hard to do the body dismemberment.
Yeah, but grabbing their necks and twisting it to suffocate, Jesus Christ.
results in 1 pickup, and if they keep sitting there suppressing it, it actually could result in their death. This dude, man, comes flying up over the top, and fortunate for Immersions doesn't spot them out. Unfortunate for Erie, they do. So Erie goes down on the 2-story, and now Immersions in a bit of an awkward spot. Do they peek this roof? They do, and oh man. Dude, man, and Loop ready to go for that push. Excommunicado cut down to 3 very quickly here as that suppressive fire,
I think we have most of their offense
while it did
out.
catch 1, allowed for the setup of the rest of this team.
Copy. Gas station looks ready for. Where is that?
Funny joke.
Oh yeah, gas station is not clear. Love is a liar.
Aggressive shots just nearly tagging Dude Man and up on the backside trying to find where they're coming from, and they think they have. Look at Toxic goes down.
I got him. He's dead. He's dead.
Oh, perfect.
Meanwhile, the south push was distracting Zero Cool, but now they are working their way up quickly to objective. Stranger Man able to get rid of 1 from basement of that middle building. Dude Man approaching it
Got
next.
1.
And I think Stranger's aware that there's another there.
North side.
And the repeat costs him. Dude Man finds the kill. The final one scooped up by Headhunter. Toaster Strudels put 1 on the board and take the lead for, I think, the first time in the series on map 3 here. Good start for them, especially off of a tough 2 maps. And maybe a less, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how they play. But if they do end up able to secure this 3rd map, you can learn a lot from that. You know, you can maybe being a little bit looser as a team will work for them, because they definitely seem relaxed here after sort of the series is getting locked in. The pressure kind of dissipates, and so maybe something to consider as they continue to move forward in this season and go up against tougher teams. And, you know, that's kind of what happens if you do put up a good streak at the lower level. You get an opportunity to challenge teams very fast. You know, if you especially at the start of a season, come out with a several game win streak, you will very quickly find a challenging opponent in the weeks to come. And I think Toaster Strudels have run into that challenging opponent here in the 2nd week. Obviously, Excommunicado doing their homework. You know, surprised to see that they did even lose that first series. And I guess we did see moments there where Toaster Strudels did put up good rounds from solid, shut down the offense entirely. But they also have great communication, coordination. So I don't know. Have to keep an eye on the old Excommunicado squad. See what their progress is like later on in the season. But either way, again, a great start for Toaster Strudels. Up 1-0, coming off of that Marsoc round nonetheless, getting rid of that potential advantage on the Volk side. We saw a lot of Volk trading rounds. And with this objective, it is tough to defend. You know, I will admit that, you know, being out in the courtyard with all the different angles of approach from the north to south, you can flank from the west. There's just so many available options. I don't blame Excommunicado for struggling here, but they put up great Marsoc rounds, and so I do anticipate a good attack from Excommunicado now, and we very well could be trading Marsoc rounds here. They are able to keep it up. I see the cheer there in chat. Appreciate that a lot. Your boy Yosh in chat as well. Shout out for dropping by and support. Appreciate you. If you are new, hit that follow button. We do a lot of regular season casting here, and obviously when that final tournament for the ladder kicks in,
Just find some.
that gets casted here as well. So hit that follow button. Be sure to tune in to more VRML action.
They got
Super
the, south side spawn.
good learning experiences available if you do shop in for when we cast top tier teams as well. Definitely figure out what strategies work for them. But out the gate, Excommunicado starting their Marsoc round pretty well. Headhunter
Nice
getting
one, nice
aggressive
one.
inside
There's one
the
all the way
hospital,
south.
catches out one as well though and evens the odds. They have an ID on another, and that push is going to be tough. That flash I don't think went inside the building. That's what they're going for, it seems though. Ooh, and over the top,
-1
dude, man
HH,
catches
confirm him, please.
supporting his teammate there, Headhunter.
Okay, are you absolutely positive that there's no more people over there, AJ?
And south, and that a push shut down. In the meantime, VR Immersions has gotten very close to the objective. Fortunate for Toaster Strudels and their setup. Both Faded and JJ ready for that kind of push. And a bit of an out of sync Excommunicado offense coming through here, as Toaster Strudels have an advantage and are aware of Wicked Toxic's position. Faded swings to try and find the kill. Does connect to the head.
Him.
Oh, there was one I shot.
Oh no.
Not sure what's happening over
It's
here,
you.
but
You scared me, dude.
Actually, you know, we probably shouldn't be all bunched up. Is it okay if I...
Yeah.
I'm gonna rotate.
JJ, go to Bernie.
wants the team kill. Interestingly enough, though, they've all rotated and actually opened up the west a little bit for Yuri. I won't be running into any contention here. Quite a while, really. Be able to get pretty dang close to that objective and set up. And the aggression now coming in from Toaster Strudels may lead to 1 or 2 picks. You know, this is the risk of sort of looking for that final kill. So you can't overcommit, and Dude Man definitely overcommitting here. Yuri hears these footsteps. And actually past Dude Man. It could be a late contender here. Oh, and I like not taking the shots from Yuri. They saw Faded, they see Faded, but they're not shooting him. Because they know where they are. What a great observation from Yuri here to go for this play. He's past Dude Man, sees Faded, and ID'd JJ. Didn't take any shots at any point. They will want to shoot when they get close to Faded, though. They can get that kill, sprint to a wall, and punch in the code before JJ or Dude Man can rotate. They are through, though. They are through this defense. JJ, of course, could look at any moment here and have an angle. Oh, and he tried to go for the 1-2. Tried to tap Faded, then JJ. Hits Faded, doesn't kill them, misses on to JJ. JJ finds the kill. I love that play. That was awesome. I talk about doing stuff like that a lot when I see it. Teams and players get put into that position often. 1v4s, 1v3s, and while I have also watched and casted fantastic 1v4s, 1v5s even, I also love to see a good sneak play when it comes down to that 1v4 scenario, and it takes a lot of patience and understanding of your position to do something like that, and that was just a great bit of movement there. I think the real intelligent choice would have been to actually wrap around that back building on the west and avoid exposing themselves to that middle building while approaching Faded's position. That, of course, you know, exposes you to the whole gas station and all that defense, so I also get why you wouldn't do that. But with the knowledge that I had, it would have been the right play. Of course, they don't know where the defense is. And so, like I said, just fun to watch, almost getting into that cap range, but diligent defense from Toaster Strudels puts them up 2-0, and their map pick definitely paying off for them. They've got a nice, comfortable lead. The trouble is we go to an objective that is incredibly hard to capture. Well, not that hard. I have seen this objective kept several times in league, so definitely possible. But maybe man, it's going to be a fast spawn, so not even a slow round here. Toaster Strudels are going to be quick to be able to challenge right onto this Excommunicado off
You and me?
defensive setup.
I got you.
Right. Faded and I are gonna go mid.
Yeah, and they really could. We're going to have a very early firefight here. Trade up through the middle.
You die on us.
Rest of the team still working their way around, and JJ managing to get all the way up here in the south. And you see from time to time these players pulling out a tablet and looking at it. That tablet is essentially a mini map. Shows you where your team is in relation to you on a map, but only a section of the map. It doesn't show you the whole thing, and so there is some guessing that has to be done, but it is a tool that can be used kind of like a compass to find out the direction of your teammates. Dude, man, pulling that tablet out to verify that JJ is over here. And JJ definitely drawing some attention with the smoke. It's a good smoke, though, although it is that late cross. Oh, they do get past Zero Cool's line. Loop has connected back from the center. They'll have Dude Man and Faded up through the middle there, and might be able to catch Zero if they rotate back. .345 left on the clock, so a lot of time to work with, but the commitment here coming in from Toaster Strudels now. I wonder if they're going to go for a cap opportunity as West just slowly prones their way across here. I don't think Toxic's going to see that small sand dune denying vision. But smokes and pre-fire are coming out, and Toxic very much cut off. This drop back could cost them. Loop doesn't actually peek out there. And Toxic still on this tight corner could pay dividends. It's a good double, a huge double. A bit of out of sync pushing coming in there from the other side. Toxic hasn't been eliminated yet, and Loop was still there. There's a big refrag from JJ. It opens up the opportunity for Loop to push out. Zero Cool catches that in the gas. We're into a 1v3.
Can't come.
Is he coming to me?
Shout out to the mod team. Working chat. Appreciate that. The res available there. Super tough to get to from this position from JJ. VR immersion's really the key player they're gonna have to get rid of. Yuri also has a line in, and so there's just it's gonna be very hard to make this 1v3 work out for JJ. They do have comms from their down teammate. And so Lup could be radioing in maybe information about Zero. But they wouldn't know the location of Yuri or VR immersion, so although immersion's big peek out there, there could be a moment where Quest catches JJ, actually catches him. Operation Yuri is still going to be the tough one to get rid of. Oh, and a pillar. Perfectly denying vision. Immersion speaks out. Catching out JJ at the pillar, and Excommunicado on the board for map 3. Take a little gander at the KDs of map 3 so far. Dude Man in particular playing well, but so is the rest of Toaster Strudels, really. 3-1, 3-1, Headhunter and JJ. Their map pick definitely playing well into their hands so far, but Excommunicado go on the offense, and they have had great attacks already this series, and so just because they've had one bad one, I'm not going to cut them out from what could be a solid push here. For those just tuning in, the current scoreline: Excommunicado have secured the series with a map 1 victory 5-2, a map 2 victory 4-1. But like I have mentioned before, we still play out map 3. And so Toaster Strudels have got a little momentum going. And, you know, it's interesting to note, if you look at that, what could be the final score line. If Toaster Strudels can come out 4-1 here, they really actually only end up losing the whole series by 3 rounds. They're pretty close to tying it round-wise, which would really minimize that growth in MMR that you would see in the ladder if you do win by a large margin. And so, yeah, this is, again, a big map for Toaster Strudels. They've started it off very strong, and they're looking at an opportunity to really, again, minimize damage to their rank. They've got 2 wins to kick off the season. And so if they can at least make this loss hurt less, they'll be in a pretty good spot when they get dumped into that ladder for Season 12 with a proper MMR. And so, yeah, it's... Season 12 has me hyped. You know, I'm really excited to be able to cast squads I have not normally. You know, there's obviously a lot of new teams that have come in over the course of 10, 11, and now Season 12, and I want to be sure I hype them up. And so the start of the season, first few weeks, will be us focusing on newer teams, middle-tier teams, but we'll also still catch some top-tier action when it does come around.
I'm gonna flank around north. I'm gonna take full north around the tourist garage and just run from there. My garage to the other side.
Ooh,
One
and
down
dude, man,
hospital.
kicking off the defensive round here by shutting down that south push. And you know, this... Well, another good pickup there.
North side.
Almost the refrag doesn't connect. And if they continue to commit to pushing up, immersions could go down.
We got that little corner where I was at.
Good repeat there from immersions, catches him out.
Never mind, do not. Yeah, I was looking in the courtyard, but I didn't see anything.
And a little audio bug there. We're hearing the radio comms of Headhunter there, it seems. Through the radio of a Marsoc. That, of course, is not happening in-game. But we did hear Headhunter there IDing immersions in that courtyard, but not able to get an angle. And a drop actually coming in from no, not a drop. Just a bug. There's still 3 up, it seems. Stranger Man here is pushing in. JJ able to catch him over the top there. A big kill. And yeah, there is only one left. They did have a drop. There's one Resable on the back. That's what you're seeing on the minimap there. But it is not coming in. VR Immersions is going to continue to commit to this push up through the center. The hardest part is going to be getting rid of Headhunter, while also not being shot by the rest of that defense, so Immersions definitely has a tough task ahead of them. Oh, and if those shots miss, now it's bad news. Headhunter aware of this position. I wonder if they can peek it. Up over the top, they could. That is what Headhunter is going to go for. And Immersions, seemingly aware of the threat from that side, does turn. Doesn't catch Headhunter drop back, though. The prone play here. Just trying to work their way up to this OBJ. And Headhunter actually dropping off does open up a gap. It's a 2v1 here. And Immersions could... Oh, I was going to say make it a 1v1. Headhunter comes back. And they spot a little something under that plane wing. Toaster Strudels 3-1. On track to putting up a 4-1 rebuttal here on Quarantine. And like I said, it's the best possible scenario for them. We stay on this side of the map, it seems, as we shift over to Gas Station for what could be the final objective of Map 3. Excommunicado certainly put up good battles in Maps 1 and 2 on Subway and Cargo, but again, the range may have been what Toaster Strudels needed against this coordinated Excommunicado's squad. seems to be breaking them up just a little bit more than they were on Subway and Cargo, and they're able to kind of pick apart and get down into these 1v2s, 1v3 scenarios. Still, though, a near comeback there from VR Immersions. I like the kills. 7 and 3 on the round, so definitely coming in and shooting well for Excommunicado, but not well enough. Not putting that whole team on their back. Obviously, that disconnect, too, definitely hurts Excommunicado's approach, but that has happened on both sides so far, so it does happen, unfortunately, from time to time. Still waiting to get back into the action. And one thing I'm surprised to note is that even in these full minute and a half timers between rounds, we're then still seeing teams at the start of the rounds communicating their strategy. And so I do wonder what they're talking about in this downtime between rounds. I would assume it is strategy, but of course, if you're on Marsoc, you don't know where you're going to spawn, and so it's actually hard to strategize a plan in advance until you're spawned in. Then you have to, okay, let's go with plan B, so to speak, and I suppose communicate that information. But I would think to see it come in from these squads, especially with how well they've been coordinated. They certainly seem to be planning plays and writing them up. We'll see if it's the final round or not as we get into the action. A kitty corner spawn for Toaster Strudels. They're going to have a long way to go.
Need it with that recoil.
Okay, really, let's just... Who actually uses all their ammo? Give that person the drone. We might get shot whenever we're crossing this, so...
No, there wouldn't be. This is too far offline.
And I do love to hear it. Toaster Strudels, very clearly, maybe not very clearly, but putting in their time enough to know that initial cross is tough to get ID'd. But of course, a very fast commitment from Excommunicados to swing out and look for that angle does get one. And now Immersions is going to continue their aggression here in the north. But it might be a little much if they do decide to swing up here. Dude Man is ready. Oh no, and Immersions doesn't reload the click there. Gets them at least one and the double. Wow, that would have been bad news, but I suppose it is for the likes of Toaster Strudels as Immersions cuts down the north. And just like that at the 2v5. A good series, but a long one as we do cut into that 2-hour mark. Both teams been duking it out for a while now. And I think it's because we've seen a lot of long rounds. A lot of moments like this where one of the teams tries to put something together with some caution. I don't know if it'll work for Headhunter, as I think Stranger Man can hear the footsteps soon enough, if they can't already, and radio that into the team. But they are going to continue their push. Doesn't look like there's any readjustments, and we're going to see if they can get up to that objective. And actually, I think about it, if they stay silent,
Whoever's out far, I know you got one.
maybe there's a way here. I don't know, there's not. Hex, Wicked Toxic, is waiting.
We
middle road. I was watching for the car.
Yeah, it's
back.
going to be
I don't see anything on hospital side either. No AC roof.
a real chaos of a lack of coverage. And
Let's go. I wasn't bored. I got good ears.
Wicked Docs catching out the final attacker puts another round up on for Excommunicado. And, you know, to the point that Toaster Strudels want to minimize damage done, Excommunicado want to maximize this W. They do not want to let a third map go out from under them. VR Immersions does not want to let this one go out from under them. They are 10-3 right now. And, you know, both teams have come in here and played well, but I just think it's a matter of continuing to hone in the timing of the plays. I think Excommunicado are good at setups. They very clearly have good planned defenses. It all comes down to executing that setup and varying the times when you do it and how you do it takes a lot of practice. And then, of course, executing those plays. And so I think that's, you know, where it really does require a lot of just scrimmaging and playing together as a team to understand each other's movements and how quick people get to certain spots. I mean, both of these Toaster Strudels playing coordinated as well. The communication is there for both of them. Just good foundations for these teams going forward in Season 12. It has me optimistic for the future and what both of these teams could look like in the end of Season 12 and, you know, going forward, Season 13, 14. It's very easily could be teams that we are not casting at the start of the season and instead are casting at the end when we get to that top 8 tournament. So, yeah, a fun one to tune into, I think is the gist of that statement, but not done with just yet. 3-2 for map 3, and Toaster Strudels
What if you were at the gas station?
looking to finally lock a map in here. Excommunicado have not been making it easy.
I hope you have your membership to REI. Oh.
That looked like a similar cross coming in on the offense. Same spawn.
Nothing.
But no shots coming in this time onto that cross. So both of them make it over to the other side safely.
Yep.
And now set
Stay
up
right
for,
there. I'll check
again,
out.
more aggression coming in. But Toaster Strudels haven't really shown that they set up on aggressive on defense. And so I doubt it will happen here on what could be the map point. If you are going to, I guess, look at anything aggressive, it is Loop, who's pushed out a bit far here. And after finding nothing, they do also drop back. So a very reserved defense here. Going to allow this Marsoc Excommunicado team to push right up into him, which might work out for Excommunicado, although I don't know. You know, we've seen their plays work, obviously, with 2 caps so far, but we've also seen Toaster Strudels shut down the approaches, so just a matter of waiting. 4 minutes 20 on the clock.
-1 tank courtyard. Or, AC clear.
First kill coming in there from Loop. Get some that early advantage, but Lub so far out that they are really going to have to sort of deal with anything else on their own. Immersions and Yuri are close. I doubt that B2 is aware of that. Maybe version 3 would be, but we don't have the technology. Loop actually getting a little nervous off of these footsteps from Yuri. Drops all the way back after calling out that there's one or two here, and now Yuri and Immersions make their entry after they know they are no longer hidden. Luff's now in a very tight spot, though, and they are trying to go for that blind fire around the corner. Yuri nearly gets picked up off the backside, but Headhunter is just a second too late on the support. Oh, and we're actually seeing a bit of team fire coming through there. JJ shooting up towards Headhunter.
I see one in garage. I like the hospital on it.
Oh man, and those hitboxes not working out for Immersions, hitting those pipes, trying to take those shots. Meanwhile, the chaos in the south. Another pickup comes through. Realize we didn't have to kill Death Feed there, but we're into a 3-3. One checking tablet, trying to ID what they're working with.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Okay. It's 1:30 right now. That's funny. All right, let's go.
And yeah, the call out there, the time
Hey, crouch when you drop. Okay, great.
in Element.
Oh shit, never mind. I ain't going down there.
Immersion's taking fall damage. He's going to have to use a syringe to heal. And if they take a bullet, will instantly be dead. Unresable, so a bit of an impact on their approach. Stranger Man, a touch out of sync. As they commit to that aggression a little bit early. On the backside, though, one comes through onto Dude Man. JJ's buried in a cloud of black smoke. Throwing out the utility, faded with a big pickup over the top. We're into a 1v2. Yuri with a huge pickup turns it to a 1v1. 30 seconds left as they get the heal off. They are pushing in. There's a big flash that denies Yuri vision and puts a pause in their approach. 15 seconds now. As this clock ticks down, Yuri is forced to make a push in. As Faded goes for an interesting swing to the outside. Toaster Strudels take a map and end the series with at least one W up on that scoreboard. 4-2 on Quarantine. 10-4 there from Immersions, but not enough for Excommunicado to lock in this map. A much better play there from Toaster Strudels as they come into their map pick. Maybe a little bit looser, a little less of that pressure on their shoulders, but they definitely played good. Well, shout out to everyone tuning in. We appreciate you all stopping by, and a big shout out to our sponsors, Pro2 VR, VR Cover, VR Wear. Our new sponsor, Border Foods. You can check out more about that Border Foods sponsorship by going to ! Border Foods. They are one of the largest Taco Bell franchises in the Midwest. And they offer great working wage opportunities with scholarships and career choice, career paths. They are a great company, and I'm happy to have them as a sponsor for the league. Hopefully this will lead to more sponsorships outside of VR, which will help us grow the VR industry as a whole. So a big shout out to them, and a shout out to HyperX. Obviously, you see the HyperX Quadcast S. I got a HyperX headset on. I love the products that they provide our team from time to time, and also obviously our winners. So big shout out to them as well. For those unfamiliar, at the end of the season, we have a tournament where the top 8 teams in the regular season ladder duke it out for a chance at what is a growing prize pool of now, I think, $5,500 in cash and prizes. And so there's a lot to be tuning into and paying attention to over the course of the next 2 months as Season 12 unfolds. We're only into Week 2. So there is plenty of action to watch, and I hope you tune in for more games this weekend. Again, a reminder, those are over at VR Master League on Twitch. So twitch.tv/VR Master League, not on this channel. So go follow that one as well. Go follow the social media. Go follow everything. You can find it all on VRML.com. And that's the spiel. Thank you all again for tuning in and hanging out. Thank you to all the new folks. Be sure to tell a friend for next matchup, which could be tomorrow, most likely the weekend. So until next time, my name's been NightFiree with 2 E's. I'll catch you all for the next game. Stay classy.